we're going to continue on with our afternoon session. A good friend of mine, Rob Evans, is here. He is a professional chef. He teaches at Southeast Community College. He's going to use some of the produce that I went to the grocery store to buy. All this produce you can find during the market harvest season at a market, so there's nothing out of the ordinary that would not be traditional to Nebraska. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about some recipes that you can do, give a live cooking demonstration, so please welcome him.
Well, like Casey said, my name is Rob Epps. I have been in the food service industry for a while. I don't want to give away how old I am, but I've been in the industry for a while. I owned a catering company here in Lincoln for about 7 years. I also owned a bakery, a retail and a wholesale bakery, and I also owned a coffee shop. And so being in Lincoln for the last almost 20 years of my life here, it's been really good to see how things have changed. The relationship that we have with farmers and producers is a lot stronger, even the last 5 years, than it was 5-6 years ago. And thank you for that, because without you producing what we are looking for, and without us communicating with you and making sure that we're getting products, and we're getting products that our customers are asking for, we have to have that relationship so that we can kind of move forward and make the right thing for the customer and work together and make sure that we're getting what we need and communicating to you products that maybe you can raise or grow for us to get out there to our customers. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit from an educator's side, from a chef's side, and then also from a person who eats. So it's good to be able to talk to you, and again, I appreciate your time. I'll make this quick, because I know you're eating, and you have a lot of things this afternoon, it sounds like, to talk about. So if you have any questions at any time, just ask about anything. Like I said, the nice thing about being an instructor, it's not just the students that we reach, it's also graduates that are out there in the industry, and then also the owners of the restaurants, the chefs of the restaurants, and we really try to reach out to them to make sure that we're communicating with them for our students and then hearing what they're looking at. Customers are telling them, and what's in the trends, what's out there that we need to be teaching the students, and then relaying that back. So the other thing that I do with Casey, and I think he talked to you maybe about that grant block a little bit this morning, where we go out to the WIC programs. In this last couple of years, we've gone to Omaha, and I've done little demos like this, so I was just going to kind of show you what we do for them. It's been very interesting getting out into the community, let alone with my students, to find out how many people don't know what this is. How many people don't know what this is? And it's just crazy to see. And it's been very interesting to know that, with the WIC program, they're getting, $20 to go out to the farmer's market to buy fresh produce and fresh fruits and vegetables. But so many of them don't know how to cook, maybe, or what it is and how to deal with it. Rutabagas, you show somebody a rutabaga, they just have no idea what it is. It's been very interesting to kind of see that. So a lot of what I do is just get the produce that Casey goes to a local farmer, a local farmer's market, and I just show it to them. And I kind of explain to them what it is, how to clean it, how to store it, how long it's going to last, if they're going to have to refrigerate it, or if they're going to have to just store it somewhere cool, if they have to clean it or wait to clean it. It's simple things like that that the public just doesn't have the education on like they used to. A lot of you, I'm sure, cook. And a lot of you know those things, but a lot of our people out there, students and also then the public, they don't know. And so what we try to do is we try to go out and educate them as best we can. And again, partnering up with Casey and then also with any of the farmers or the farmers markets, we try to have students go out and do demos, we come out and talk. Anything we can do to kind of help educate the community is another big part of that. And it just blows your mind how many people don't know how to cut up an apple. Some people have gone out and done education in cities like Omaha is probably a little bit bigger than Lincoln in the sense that even showing kids how to open up an orange. They don't know how to peel an orange. Like, I can't eat that. Yes, you can. You just peel the orange. They don't even know that. It's just something that blows your mind because you don't think about it. But the general public just doesn't know. So having this opportunity to do these educational things and just showing basic things has been really good and eye-opening. You can go out and I was telling the ladies up front here, I could have brought my stove and flambéed and, made a big show, and that's great, but if it doesn't really teach them anything that they can use at home. You really got to think about what's the purpose of it and what can we really do to educate them. And with my students, a big part of what I try to do is educate them on communication with especially producers. We have a class every other quarter that we teach where we have farmers and producers come into my class and talk to the students. And we go out and we tour. We've been out to Branch Oak Farm. We've been out to I think it's Red Fox, out kind of towards Blair. And so anytime we can get an opportunity to take our students out and show them, okay, this is where the food comes from. Yes, you get it in the kitchen and then you cook it or you do something with it, but where does it come from? How is it produced? And you're all aware of the documentaries and all of those things, some good, some bad, mostly not so good, but they're out there and that's what they see. That's what the students see and they believe it. And so by sitting down and talking to producers and going out and showing them a farm, showing them maybe a dairy farm, or showing them a livestock feeding facility, or showing them those things, it opens their eyes and they have a much more of an appreciation for where that food's coming from, which hopefully then translates back to our customers that they're going to be making products. So again, just thank you. We appreciate what you do, and anytime that we can help, you just let us know. Here at Southeast Community College in Lincoln, we really can encompass York all the way to Omaha, and go north and go south. We can get past York, but it's a little harder once we get that far away. But if there's something we can do for you, just let us know, and we want to be able to help you. So what I've got is just some real basic things. Like I said, it's just more of a matter of showing basic techniques, like using a cutting board and putting something like a damp towel under it, so when you cut, it doesn't slide around on the table and you cut yourself, so safety, those type of things. I try to show just basic techniques of holding a knife properly. You'd be surprised how many people hold a knife way in the back. Or they hold it with their finger on top and then they don't have any control. So holding the knife properly, just basic things I try to show people. Again, with students, it's the same thing. And we have students that come in that have never cooked a day in their life, but they want to go to culinary school. Great. This is a knife. This is a cutting board. This is how you hold it. It's very interesting to kind of see the range of students that we get. And it's the same with the public. There's people who cook, and there's people who don't cook. And also just being able to kind of show basic things has been great. So I've got a baguette, just a nice French baguette type of bread. I just sliced it at a bias, nice and kind of thin. And what we can do is just even something really basic like a bruschetta. Just dice up some nice fresh tomatoes. Just dice up some onion. I had some red onion, so I'm just going to dice up a small amount of red onion. Small dice, so nothing really too much. These are really strong, so you don't want to go too heavy. When we dice up onions in the commercial industry, we really try to be consistent with our size. So by holding our knife at a horizontal angle and cutting in to the onion, and then coming across and then finishing, it holds it all together. So we can go through 50 pounds of onions at a time and not have to sit there and take 2 hours to cut up an onion. It goes a lot faster by keeping the onion in one piece until you get through the whole thing. And so that's what we kind of show our students, and again we show the general public this proper knife technique, holding it properly. Hopefully, when you see demos, you see people wear gloves. Cooking shows on TV, sometimes they're not wearing gloves, but hopefully they're clean and they're washing their hands. Those type of things. That's another big thing we have to keep in mind. We want to make sure the public is safe. So that's a big part of it. A little bit of garlic, or a lot of garlic. A little bit. Depends on the person maybe. Gonna give it a little bit of a pop. Mince it up a little bit easier. So have any of you ever come across a chef asking, if there's something that can get you to produce for them? Or is there an interest in that? And if you've ever tried to think, well, how can I get into the market maybe with Omaha or Lincoln with the local restaurants? Have you thought of that, or have you contacted, or anybody contacted you to do that kind of thing?
We've grown Chinese cabbage, pep cabbage, or something.
Nice.
Butternut squash. Oh yeah.
And the lead lodge. I mean, they're out. They want your business. They really do. The hardest thing for us is to try to find a way how to contact you as a producer. You know, we can go to the farmers markets, but how many of you are at the farmers market yourselves, where you have someone there that can communicate with that chef if they're interested in getting something? Couple, some, most of them. Good. Do you get chefs that come to your markets?
Yeah.
Depends on where you're at. How many of you are on this side of the state, on the east side, over this Lincoln, Omaha area? Grand Island area? Farther out west? Out west? It's harder probably, I'm sure, north? It's probably harder north than west, I would think. A little bit. We want to be there. So if you were interested, I've got business cards, and if you're interested, you can always take my business card and send me your information, and I can make sure to get it out to. I'm also the chapter president for our local chef association, and so I'm nice enough to have meetings every month. So if there's a time you want to come in and talk, or if you want to get information out to some more of these chefs, I'm a good resource for that. So I'm happy to leave my card. If you'd like to get a hold of me, I can try to do that as best I can. I know out towards like North Platte, we have a couple of graduates of ours that are opening up some new restaurants in Kearney and North Platte, and so they're very, into the modern, into trying to find fresh and trying to find local. And so if we can get them in contact with somebody, it'd be fantastic. What we can do, just let us know. So we'll go with a little bit of garlic. And let's see. It's always fun to add other things. I don't really have a whole lot of fun stuff to add, but you could do some vinegar and some oil. I think I do that. Maybe not so much vinegar in a bruschetta, but a little bit of oil. That little bit of fat kind of helps add a little more flavor. Nice olive oil is good. A little healthier fat, right? And basil, I have a nice mixture of some herbs, so I'm going to throw some of that in there. Fresh basil is always great. How many of you are herbs? Do we have any herb farmers? Yeah, some of you. I've noticed a lot more availability of local herbs coming around. You get in the grocery store, Russ's, Super Savers, and Hy-Vee. They see even the nice bubble packaging of fresh herbs from within the next 50 miles of Lincoln or Omaha. So that's been really great to see more of that. How many of you deal with Lone Tree? Is that Lone Tree? Yeah, has that been good to work with? We have them come in and speak too, and I've noticed a lot more chefs getting into using them. They get emails every week to kind of help tell them what's available, what's there. So that's a good resource. People seem to be getting on board on my side of the industry, so hopefully that's been good. A little bit of herbs, some oregano, some basil, some rosemary, good Italian herbs. Mix that up here. If you do any cooking demos at your farmer's market, I give you some suggestions. Have a little recipe, just print something, even black and white, just make it really small, something that you can hand out to people. So if you're going to do something simple like a little bruschetta, just have a little recipe card with your name, your farm name, or an email, or a Facebook page. That way you have something to hand them, and they'll remember, you, if nothing else. Plus, they like to see recipes. They like to have something physical to take, so that's always kind of nice. I know with the block grant that Casey and I've been doing at the WIC programs, they have that really nice recipe book, which is really great because it shows not all, but a lot of the different fruits and vegetables that we can get locally, how to clean it, how to store it, how long it's good for, and there's 2 recipes for each of the fruits and vegetables in that recipe book. It's a great resource to give out to people through this block grant program that we've been doing. So it's just crazy. Again, like I said, people just don't know when it's right, how to clean it, let alone how to cook it, if they have to cook it. So it's been very interesting. So the other thing, I like to do weird things sometimes. So I have cucumber and apple. If I had some cabbage, we could do like a little salad, but I'll just do the apple and the cucumber and a little bit of onion and garlic maybe. And then just toss it with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of oil, and then we can just serve it with a nice little salad, a little vinaigrette. So you can do even simple, just circles, or you can dice. A lot of times people get cucumbers and they don't like the bitterness that's in it. So if you go through, you can actually just scrape out the seeds. That's a good way to tell customers, Yeah, maybe it's a little bitter. Just take out the seeds. Cut it in half like a spoon. Take out the seeds and juice. Other ways to trim it out. So you just quarter the cucumber, and then you can use an angle, and you can just trim all the seeds out at once. Then it makes it a lot easier to dice if you're going to dice it up instead of slice it. Now we can do strips. And then come back and dice it. Questions?
Did you wash that cucumber?
I did. I have a little sandy bucket and some towels. Yes, I just figured you guys would eat it dirty. Be fine. No, I did wash it.
What do you recommend for washing if you do buy it in the store?
Just water. Just clean them and scrub them. If it's things like potatoes, I always recommend like a brush. You just scrub them, or mushrooms, and scrub them really well. I know there's a lot of like, I don't know if you guys deal with it, but there's a lot of those soap, like vegetable soaps on the market. And the things that I've seen from like the university and studies, is clean it with water, and just clean it really well. Clean water, rinse it, don't soak it, and it's just as healthy as if you were to use those soaps. I've never used those vegetable soaps. I'm not familiar with them too much, but I know they're out there. That good? Sound all right?
Is there some kind of guide? I never know what to charge restaurants. Because, I assume it's gonna be less than what you get at the market.
Sure.
But I don't know, they say, well, what do you charge? You say, well, what will you pay for? What will you charge for?
Right. That's a tough one.
It is.
It is. As an owner, when I own my businesses, I would want you to be successful, and I want you there next year to be growing the same product, so I would rather pay a premium for that product. And the expectation from chefs should be that they're going to pay more money buying from you locally than they would be buying from a U.S. Foods or a Sysco, because they're getting that produce from, who knows, out of season. Like right now, it's probably come from Southern California or even down in Mexico, which is fine. But if I know I'm getting it locally and I know I'm getting it, that story that comes with that, I can put it on my menu. I can have my service staff tell my customers that, hey, we buy this from this local producer. This is their farm. Even put your name in the menu so that it can talk about where that food is coming from. Now you have a story. You're selling it at a more premium. It's worth the money that we would pay. How much? I don't know. The best thing is have that dialogue. If you sit down and you talk to a chef, a good chef that knows what he or she is doing, they're going to say, okay, I know I'm going to have to pay more money. But if I say I can buy 50 pounds every 2 weeks from you, what about this price? And then just talk to them. Have that that dialogue and just talk to them. But they should know, I can't say this for everybody, because I'm sure you come across people, but they should know that they're going to pay more money buying it from you. But it's worth it. They have to understand. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, it does.
It's hard. That's a hard one to say because it depends on the restaurant. If it's a restaurant that's just in fast service where they're trying to be really quick and really inexpensive, it might not be ideal for either. But it's something to think about.
I don't think those kind of restaurants buy local. Maybe they do.
There's probably some that, but their demand might be much higher. As far as if you can do 200 pounds a week type of a thing, maybe then it's worth it. Guarantee at a smaller price.
If somebody was going to move into herbs, growing herbs, what type of herbs would you recommend?
Especially around the Midwest, I would say you're safe with doing things like thyme, oregano, cilantro, basil, parsley, tarragon. Chives. Now, if you were trying to get into the higher end market, there's things like savory and things like microgreens and things like, trying to think, there's some off the wall ones that you'll have just a much smaller clientele interested in, but they're out there. V-Mertz in Omaha, Great Plume, those type of restaurants, they're going to be looking for that kind of unique, different, niche type of product that you might not get from Seward restaurants in Seward, let's say. That help?
This idea of storytelling has become really popular not only at the market level but at the restaurant level.
Yeah.
Is this something that's going to, I mean, in your opinion, going to be something that's sustained, or is it a fad?
No, I think it's
Where does the
sustained.
desire for stories come from?
I think that so the idea that a customer wants to know where their food comes from, I don't think that's going away. I really do hope, I think that's actually going to just get bigger, because I think that demand, the customer wants to know where their food is coming from, that's growing. So I think that's definitely out there. The restaurant industry, and you even see it in the grocery stores, you know, the Russes and the Open Harvest and the Hy-Vees, they're even putting this farm was within 50 miles of this store, and this is where it's coming from, right there on the produce in the grocery store. So I think it's definitely there. I think the demand is from the customer. I think that as chefs, we've always, I would say not always, but a lot of us have always wanted that. Where can we get our food locally? Where do I have that story tied to it? But now the customers are coming with it. And I think it's TV. TV is good and bad in a lot of ways. The expectation from customers gets a little skewed from television, but it also opens their eyes to these type of things. You know, where can they get something local? Where can they get something different? Where can they get it? Know where the customer, the farmer is coming from. So TV is also bad for a lot of reasons. But every student wants to be a TV chef almost. You don't have to go to school maybe to do that, but.
Do you have any stories of how farmers have connected with chefs in like an unusual or interesting way? Or how do you go about courting them?
Well, what I do is when I go to the farmer's market, you know, and I just talk to the farmer. You know, I'm lucky enough, again, like I said, with instructing and teaching and having all these different connections, I see and talk to a lot more producers than a normal chef. Chefs are busy, as are all of you. You know, and so it's just very difficult for them to get out as much. But then if they can know somebody who knows somebody and get a connection, that's very helpful too. You know, Dante's Pizzeria in Omaha went up to Ranch Oak Farm, which is just outside of Lincoln here, and they do just a small, I think they have 50 or 80 heads of Jersey cows, and they just do a small cheese business. And he contacted them and said, if you can do, it's crazy, but it's something like 50 pounds of mozzarella a week, I will only buy my mozzarella for you. So much so that she couldn't even use her, she had to get milk from Prairie Land Dairy to boost up enough product to make the mozzarella. But he came out to the farm, he visited them, he talked to them, he looked at their facility, and he just said, I will pay this. It's more than I pay for US Foods or Cisco, but now I can put your face and your name on the menu, I can sell it to my customer, they're gonna understand it's worth a premium. And that's the great. A little salt and pepper. What else? Anything?
Chefs move,
What's that?
they move.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes. That's hard. I guess my hope is that, you know, it's ingrained in the next person that you're there, and you're still there, and you can still produce for them. But yeah, that's very true. Especially in bigger markets, you see a lot more movement of chefs. Not much I can say about that, I guess. It's unfortunate. A little salt and pepper. Yeah, just a little bit of, it's silly, but that little bit of sweetness from the apples, I like that just in even a cabbage salad. Raw cabbage salad, people don't think you could eat raw cabbage. Of course, it's crisp, it's healthy, it's got a lot of flavor. And just a little bit of sweetness from something like an apple or a pear really goes well with cabbage. And so that's kind of a fun thing to kind of show people, just a nice little salad type of thing. So that's amazing. Beets, this last year, Casey's not in here, but this last year, it was very interesting. I made every person that I went to the WIC programs, and so this is in inner city Omaha. We were at North Omaha, South Omaha, Midtown, and none of them had ever eaten beets before. Maybe pickled beets and canned beets, but it was very interesting to make you had to eat it. You have to try it. At the very least, try it.
How did you cook them?
I just boiled it and then just cut it with a little salt and pepper, and I said, just eat it as it is. And, oh wow, this is actually not bad. Oh wow, this is actually not bad. Just getting it into their hand and making them try it. It's just crazy.